Okay, this is a little response video for Ranger Kooky. A while back there, a few videos back of his, he talked about an old camp that he used to go to as a kid and spend the night. I told him I would take him to one of my old camps from when I was in the Boy Scouts. And this is one of them. As you can see, it's a little disarray at the moment. This was actually a Girl Scout camp many years ago, before it was owned by a local Boy Scout troop, the one I became Eagle in. We used to frequent this place often as a Cub Scout and as a Boy Scout. Let me take you for a little walk. All these cattails, including this white pine, wasn't here back then. It was a full-blown pond that we can swim and fish in. There's remnants of a diving board here, as you can tell. We got the dam here, and somewhere way up over there, if I can get to it, along the banking, there used to be a slide, a metal slide. You slide down into the water. Now there used to be these big poplar trees weren't here back then. They might have been real small, but they are way overgrown. But this was clear across the brook here. And we had a bridge that we built going across, and that was our bridge for our crossover ceremonies for the Arrow of Light recipients if they wanted to cross over into the Boy Scout troop. Those of you that are scouts know there's crossover ceremonies, and they use bridges and symbolic of it. So we had two local troops up here in town, and let me just get across this bridge. At the time there was Troop 4 and Troop 222, and when the local Cub Scout pack had their crossover ceremony, we did it here. And both troops would participate. You would cross over the bridge. I think it was over in here. It was closer up towards the dam, probably over in here. And when you crossed over the bridge, you joined whatever troop that you decided to join, whether it was 222 or Troop 4, on this grassy area here, which you can tell is no longer grass. It's all matted down cattails from the looks. Or not cattails, goldenrod and wild roses. But yeah, like I said, this was a big pond, still a pond, so to speak. But obviously there's no fishing and swimming anymore. Up on the hillside we had campsites on both sides, over here and over here. As a matter of fact, up here on the hill, I remember spending my Cub Scout den had a couple sites up there. We used to do a Lad and Dad weekend. My father and a buddy of mine's father spent the night with us. They didn't enjoy that too much. We did, but you know, as the older you get, you don't want to hang out on the ground. Some people. Me, I still take it. So yeah, the Boy Scout troop actually bought this from the town of Dalton, Massachusetts for $1. The town was looking to get rid of it. They possessed it from the Girl Scout troop that was no longer, was actually campfires and brownies and all them. I don't know what the ranks are, but they owned it. My sisters had attended this camp years ago when it was full-blown Girl Scout, and then the town sold it to my Boy Scout troop 4 for $1, and we used it for several years, and they still use it today. In fact,
I'm going to be bringing my, ow, that's a thorn right in the old left hand, awesome.
Bringing my troop up here. Geez, you can't even get up there anymore. There used to be sites up here on the hill, like I said. It used to be all wide open. You walk right up, there's a trail up around the pond, and it's amazing how things just grow in. Mother Nature takes over, hey?
Son of a bitch. Ow! Can't imagine.
This place is awesome at night when the peepers are out. One thing I used to love about it. Never used this diving board. It was already out of service when the troop took over. But it was here long before, back when the Girl Scouts were here, they used it. It's kind of cool that it's here. Post some of these pictures on Facebook. This building was used for the camp staff and type stuff, and they had bathrooms in there and showers, I believe, at one point. Again, they were out of service when we were in here as Boy Scouts, but they're still there. The building has seen better days. It's been settled. Obviously, the locals have been getting up here and doing their thing. But we'll give you a little walk around anyway. You can see where the frost has really wreaked havoc with this. There's one bathroom. Boys, some beer cans. We're up on the hill back here. There's parking areas. They had a wood stove. And you can see a flagpole Boy Scouts used today. Go take a better look at that. Looks like there was a bigger pole here that used to lever right on there. They just exchanged it with the stick for now. But I talked to the scoutmaster from the troop, the existing scoutmaster, and he says we can come up here at any time. And I'm going to bring the troop up here, my troop from Hinsdale, do a little weekend camping, and maybe I'll even do some bushwhacking up here as with the Kelson and Colin and Carly if she wants to go. Looks like the locals have been here fairly recently. Look at this here. I want to show you. Hopefully the light will come on. If you can read that, you'll know that's pretty disgusting. But I'm only 1 out of 3 there. This is inside. Of course, this was all concrete at one time. Last time I was up here as a scout using it. Where the ground is squishy. Well, like I said, there's been some artwork that they attempted to cover up. And structural wise, I don't know. Some of the walls are moving pretty good. I don't think I'd want to be up here in a big windstorm. But, you know, it's still got a decent shelter to it. Get in out of a thunderstorm if you're up here camping. But better look at this bench they made at one point. They actually cut out a log, good size diameter log. That's probably 2 feet around, maybe 1.5 feet. And they used a chainsaw to cut a wedge out of it. Created a bench for it, for the fire pit. And here's a huge, looks like a pole for a power line. But there you go, Kooky. Hopefully that answers any questions. I do have another video that I'm going to make from our Boy Scout camp. We used to go to resident camp over Chesterfield at another date. find it interesting how these trees are spread apart like this. What's really going on here? These white pines just laid right over, coming from a center point here. Right in there where that cinder block is. Interesting. I don't get it. Anybody explain that? Serious windstorm created that. Let me get in here and look better. It's like a fire ring right there. See them stones? Some cinder block. And all the way around it. These trees are laid right out. I don't get it. Interesting. The ghost hunter in me wants to come up here. Look, see what I'm saying? They're laid right over. Right from that center point where that fire ring is. I don't get it. Kind of freaking me out. In a cool way.
I hear a road.